Guys, let's move on to the Tin Drum, and Dave Pace is going to introduce him. Take it away, Dave.
This next guy's been Canadian all his life, but we're starting to like him anyway. He's a brother from another mother, even though he's white as Wonder Bread. Hang tight for the Fangoria diplomat, Sir David Gonzo Pace.
Max, did you just make me watch child pornography? You devious son of a bitch. Did you do it as a joke? Did you do it because of some horrible perceived slight against you I was previously unaware of? Why, Max? Why did you make me watch this creepy kid eat pussy and fuck midgets? What did I do to deserve this? You evil bastard. Okay, so maybe I'm going overboard here. Maybe the Tin Drum isn't exactly child pornography. It won an Academy Award. It's a highly regarded piece of cinema. Sure, this was back in less enlightened times when the Academy gave out awards for best child pornography, but still, the film deserves better than my ignorant rants from the side of history, so let me try and review this thing. There is a lot going on in this movie, both in terms of story and in terms of what is happening visually. There's a large, overarching story of the free city of Danzig in Poland and the fate which befell it under the Nazi occupation and years of warfare. There is also a fairy tale-like story about a boy who is wise beyond his years, and upon examining the world of adults around him, mostly motley assortment of incestuous relatives, ridiculous Nazi brown shirts, and various men who are fathers or surrogate fathers to him, and decides he will reject it and remain a boy forever. It's a reverse Pinocchio story about the absurdity and barbarism of the adult world, which, despite Oscar's mental and physical rejection of it, constantly impacts his life in mostly tragic ways. The kid also has sex scenes. Did I mention the kid sex scenes? Oh, God. I'm on a list or something now, Max, you dirty fucker. Do you hear that clicking noise? Is there someone else on the goddamn line?
No, look here.
Oh, you rotten fucking animal.
Oh, shit!
This is not a film that is easy to access. Most people have no real grasp of the politics of the era the film is portraying, and therefore can't really appreciate the stakes involved in the larger tale of Danzig. More accessible is the story of Oscar and his rejection of adulthood. He learns the cruel lesson that even if he doesn't want to be part of it, the adult world will still continue to control his existence. He also learns that while his body remains that of a child, his mind grows and develops more adult tastes. It seems Oscar wants to not be responsible for his life, much like a child, but also wants some of the benefits of adulthood. His inner monologue speaks with a voice beyond his years and references literature beyond that which a child could comprehend. He also develops attractions to women which he pursues with a grotesque vigor, which the director seems unafraid to detail to us and send us all straight to fucking prison. Do you know what happens to kiddie porn guys in prison acts? I have soft act. They are going to tear me up like a photo of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. Sweet Jesus, this will be all your fault. I'm going to give you what I dug about this film, which was definitely not the kid sex, in case the FBI is listening.
It's a good thing we don't live in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I loved the cinematography and the tricks that were used to set this surrealist fairy tale tone to the whole thing. The opening of the film in particular, with its jerky turn-of-the-century film style. It was like a Polish Keystone Cops, and I really enjoyed it. The portrayal of the Nazis in the film as bumbling idiots. The brown shirts in the movie are these boneheaded fools who look like ridiculous grown-up Boy Scouts. It's a very effective skewering. I also liked Oscar's dilemma. It was interesting watching him try and remain some weird little observer in the world, but inevitably getting entangled in it. I felt some of his tragedies. He was also a total little shit, and I found that really believable. The people I know today who are stunted man-children are precocious shitheads, too. Oscar's grandmother was a great character, and she bookends the film very nicely, communicating that despite all the war and tragedy, nothing really changed for the family. You know, she's there fucking eating potatoes at the beginning, she's there eating potatoes at the end. It's all kind of makes this weird circle. I never really connected to the rest of the film because the relationships were very convoluted. It was very hard to keep track of all the crazy incest and whatnot. I also did not connect to the larger story of Danzig for precisely the reasons I mentioned above. I'm a bit of a World War II buff, and I knew about the free city of Danzig and all that stuff, but not enough to really grasp the nuances that I think are present in this film. Also, for those who think I'm kidding about the child pornography, you need to understand this film was banned in several countries for a very long time, including in my country, Canada, because it was believed to be pornographic. It remains banned in Malaysia, where everything is banned. But if you don't want to see an 11-year-old actor in some somewhat disturbing sequences involving sex, then maybe you ought to give this one a pass. Ultimately, I think the enduring strength in this picture will be in its images. The surreal vision put on the screen and the truly creepy portrayal of Oscar will be burned in my brain for a long time. So in summation, when they come for me, Max, I'm naming names. It was Max Cook who gave me the movie Special Agent K-O-C-H. Yes, I know it looks like cock, but he swears it's Cook. Probably just to flop his perfect trail. He's on YouTube. Oh, God. Who knows what the hell he is up to with all those subscribers. Jesus Christ, he does a kid's cartoon. Bottom line, Max, if I go down, you go down. And I don't think they give conjugal visits to dogs when you're in the child porn wing of the federal prison. Bet on how to sharpen a shiv before they drag you away, you savage.
That's great. They send you to Emerald City in Oswald State Correctional Facility. You get to be bunked with Adebisi.
Oh, God. And that little hat?
Yeah, that hat. Yeah, exactly. He'll be playing the trumpet. You'll be, doing your thing. Jeez Louise. I was really taken aback by the child sex scenes too, man. It really bothered me. It disturbed me because I have a really big problem with films today, kind of like, in their way they, of sexualizing children. And this one doesn't even, it doesn't even try to masquerade it. They pretty much do it. And it kind of bothered me. So I'm with Dave on that. And I don't want to completely focus on that, but since it's brought up, let's get it out of the way. Joe, did it bother you?
It bothered me in the sense that I was distracted trying to figure out how they filmed all those scenes without actually exposing that kid to those situations.
Right.
Like I was analyzing every scene for how they would shoot it.
Okay.
Edit around things, sort of fake things, whatever. But that kid, no matter what they did, that kid was exposed to the situation that was at hand. There's no way around it. You know what I mean? There was kissing and there was serious innuendo. Like no matter how careful you are, that kid was definitely put in, right into the thick of it. So, I was disturbed. I was distracted by it more than anything else.
Me too. Yeah.
Which, you don't want to be distracted by a film, because of how it's made, so.
Well, it walks, it walks the line of what's art and what's pornographic, right?
I guess so. It's nothing in the film, though, is really pornographic the way that the other film was pornographic in many ways, you know what I mean?
Right.
But because there's nothing, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was as pornographic as the other one because there's not as much nudity or like outright stuff. I mean, he's talking about essentially love scenes,
Love, right?
I guess, but yeah, I mean, it's troublesome, no doubt, no doubt, it's troublesome. But the kid, I mean, as troublesome and maybe as wrong as it is, that kid is friggin' amazing. I mean, he's just beyond comprehension and how he pulled this off. And I guess that on the flip side of that, it's a testament to the powers of the director.
Absolutely, Max. Does it disturb you at all?
Oh no, I completely identified with this film, personally. No, listen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You know, you are under oath here, sir.
Hey,
Is
listen.
that
I mean,
clicking, what's that clicking noise? What's that clicking
I mean,
noise?
I had this babysitter when I was 7, and she was a funky redheaded hillbilly.
Right.
Who I lived on a farm, and she would take care of me, supposedly, you know, while my probation officer stepdad, who abused us, worked, and my mom, who was a nurse, worked. And she said, "Hey, do you want to know what I smell like, what I taste like?" And she shoved my face in her vag, and I was 7. And then I move out to L.A., and I've got the Z Channel, and it's all these unbelievable, artistic, groundbreaking films that I should not be watching at age 9, 10. I saw The Tin Drum on Z Channel when I was 10. I mean, who was supervising me, man? It's not right. I can admit that now. But listen, this is an extraordinary, surreal vision.
No doubt.
That we have not seen the likes of since. And this is something that I kind of relate to Joe. Like, I feel like Joe kind of started this real, as far as on the cutting room anyway, he started this real sort of like, let's take a look at foreign films. And I remember when we were talking about Fellini's films, and I remember talking about it's like a trip to Europe.
Right.
And Tin Drum, seriously, is like a trip to Germany when all the horrible Nazi shit was going on before World War II broke out. And you get to see all of the furniture and all of the dressings and all of the lifestyles and the shops and the toys and the weirdness. And it was just like, it's so fucking mind-blowing, man. This is a mind-blowing film. And to revisit it, of course, I bought it on Criterion. And this is the second version I watched, by the way, and I'm really upset that the new version that I bought on Blu-ray does not include the documentary Banned in Oklahoma, which Dave mentioned, you know, as far as the fact that there's a whole documentary about a guy who simply rented this movie
Right.
at a video store and was persecuted essentially for it, you know.
Yeah.
And the child porn thing, listen, I mean, what? David Bennett's an actor. He was 12, and then the chick who played Mary was 24. Listen, I mean, I'm not a dad, so maybe you guys are reacting to it like you're daddies. But for me, as a little kid, listen, I know it's early, but when I was thrust inside that pussy at such a young age, it was the most exhilarating moment of my life.
But you can't force kids. You can't force that experience onto kids, man. That's just not. It's just.
Well, why
it's
would
not
you
right.
ever force that experience onto kids?
Well, not you, but the director is doing it. I mean, obviously you're not doing it. All right, so there's a moral question.
Harv Bennett.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying there's a moral question there. I mean, is it right to?
Do you really think little David Bennett put his face in that chick's vag?
No, and that's right. But he is definitely exposed to the innuendo of what's happening in the scene for sure. You know.
Yeah, but he's got to know that it's play and it's not real, and he's not really inside her vag, and he's not really tasting her, and he's got weird little like premature golden hairs on his forearms. I mean, David Bennett's isn't he like he's midgety. There's something. He's overgrown a little bit anyway, right? Physically, that kid.
But still, an 11-year-old is still mentally underdeveloped. I mean, we could. And I'm not defending this either way, you know, but you know, I understand that it's art, and I understand that it's storytelling. He is still being exposed to something that is, we don't do that. Like, we don't, in our society, it's considered illegal. So I could kind of understand why people have a problem with it, but
Well, okay. So listen, what about this? What's the show, Tom? The Toddler Tiara.
Oh,
What is it,
Jesus.
Max?
Toddlers. What is it, Max? Toddlers and tiaras.
Toddlers and Tiaras.
Available
Well,
on
I
Netflix.
mean,
guys, we're going down. By the way, we're all being arrested tomorrow.
Well, I mean that I think that should be illegal.
Joe,
because
that's
it's
the most
over-
horrifying thing ever.
What
That's
is this,
exposing
Joe?
young
Joe,
girls.
what are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know it,
I'm
Tom?
unfamiliar. No, please explain.
Oh,
And for
okay.
anyone
So
else
it's-
that might not know it.
It's derivative
it's a-
of Honey Boo Boo. It's little girls in pageants. It's
Ugh.
oh, who was that?
It's
poor little thing
it's a
who was-
reality show
That's
about
child
moms
abuse.
who
Absolutely.
are putting their kids into beauty.
That is a
pageants.
glorified form of child abuse.
Absolutely,
Yes.
Tom. Absolutely. But
Oh,
but Tin Drum is an art film, and the kid's an actor, and he's not really eating her veg, and it's not real. So how do you
But
compare
he's
that
being
to
a-
Toddlers and Tiaras?
So I'll tell you, because he's being exposed to a sexual situation, sexual innuendo.
Or
And
is
he's
he
be-
being directed to go near her pelvis?
Well, that's it. I mean, you know what? That's exactly what I was thinking about the whole time as I was watching it. Was how do you handle this? How do you handle this scene with class? And I don't know the director or what
No.
happened on the set.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So
David,
yeah,
David, I
it's
want
all-
you
it's
to
all
I
together.
want you to pretend you're going back inside your mommy's womb. Do you know from where you came? I came from that pussy. Correct. You came from the pussy. Okay, but we don't say pussy. Okay. So I want you to just pretend you're going to go back up inside, but you're not really going to, okay? Because she's wearing a patch, okay? And action. This kid's
Well-
fine. Have you seen the pictures of David Bennett on IMDb? He's rolling with hotties. He's acting. He's fine. It didn't fuck him up. This is an individual story.
Huh.
No, you're not going to tell your kid to go eat some chick's pussy on camera or even stage it because you're protective dads, rightly so.
Look,
Okay.
This
I want
kid
to.
didn't really eat a pussy, man.
I want to be clear about my feelings about all this because really, I just wanted to make a lot of jokes about child porn. I don't think I was genuinely concerned, but ultimately, I mean, yes, it's a matter of concern. It's something that you watch and you go, "Holy shit, I can't believe they did that." And Joe's quite right. You spend a lot of time thinking about the logistics of how they actually accomplished it in a way that wasn't exploitive, and I trust that they handled it in a non-exploitive manner. I have to trust that that's what happened.
Uh-huh.
Right, as do I, and I think that's probably what the case was.
But it's weird because when you bring up toddlers and tiaras and things like that, what those kids are experiencing is 1,000 times worse.
Absolutely.
Like whatever exploitation, because let's face it, like yes, what happened, like the Tin Drum and what this kid goes through in the Tin Drum, it is exploitive to a certain extent, and I trust that the director did everything possible to mitigate against exploiting the Bennett the actor. I get that. I don't think that anybody is trying to mitigate against the exploitation of the children on Toddlers and Tiaras. That what you see is parents actively seeking to exploit their children.
Right.
And it's far more horrifying, and the children on that show are infinitely more harmed, and yet that's a network television show.
Right, and I listen, I don't think we should belabor the point
And
excessively,
nobody's trying to ban that shit show.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there was a documentary, and I'll do the research and find it and put a trailer up or whatever.
Okay.
But there was I don't remember the name of it, but there was a documentary. Oh shit! It was fucking Borat, I think, or something like that, where they would put out like a casting call for kids, and they were asking
right.
these parents what they were doing, what they were willing to let their kids do, and some of it was downright appalling. And look, it seemed like this director obviously has taste, and I'm not saying that that's what happened,
Right.
but that's the question that's being raised here,
Yeah,
essentially. And
for sure.
like I don't know that I think that honestly, the filmmaker is just too good of a filmmaker to be a shithead. You know what I mean? So, but basically that's the question here.
I just wanted to make kiddie porn jokes.
Yeah, and it's one meta tag that we were missing, Joe, was child pornography. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be sure to put that up there as a topic
You
of
guys want
discussion.
listeners? Now we got them. You just put that in there. We're gonna have Max tomorrow. We're gonna have 100,000 people on our website.
I'm going to do that, Tom, but I'm also going to be transferring all of the website documentation to your name. I'll just let you know.
You guys just think that I'm a sick, awful, horrible degenerate.
Well, wait a second. Hold on. I think, Tom, it is. Do you find it merely coincidence that both Dave and I mentioned Max's, punishing us by assigning his films to us? I mean, could it be that we're both just crazy?
No,
Punishing you?
I don't think he's.
You guys have never seen these films before? These films have been around for years. I'm surprised none of you fuckers have ever seen these films before. You're
Hey.
kidding me, right?
Joe, and a lot of Tin Drum is a beautiful film.
Oh, I
It's
know.
incredible.
Yeah, I mean the scope of it is amazing. I mean I was drawn in.
I'm just fucking
No,
with
I
you, Max,
know.
by the way.
I'm still trying to shake the topic off my fucking unhealthy body, Max.
Hey, you know what you guys don't do? You don't think for a second that I want to hear your thoughts on these films. You think that it's some prank. I'm trying to fuck with your heads. I'm trying to send you something really sick and awful. You don't think for a second that I want to hear how brilliantly you guys interpret these films through your own eyes, which I want to hear, which is the total case.
No, I totally get that, and that's why we give. That's why I give so much thought, and obviously Dave does too, to the films that.
Yeah, I mean, these are thoughtful films here. I mean, they're not stupid movies.
You did bring something up a few minutes ago, Max. The going back into the womb thing.
Yeah.
Like that's something that look. As beautiful as this film is, and as remarkable an accomplishment as it is as well, I do have. I don't know, man. There's something that I can't connect to with the film. I feel like maybe it's cultural, like I'm not getting it, or like the main theme, or what's at the bottom of this guy's fetishes to go under skirts and the tin drum.
Really,
couldn't-
Joe? Really?
I
To go
couldn't
hide
really
under
get-
a skirt? That doesn't resonate with you at all? To hide under a
Well,
warm skirt?
I sort of get it, but I can't put it. I can't find what the context is or
Joe.
how it's relating the like
Let me
what's
ask
going
you
on with
something.
the film as a
Let me
whole,
ask you
know?
something, Joe.
I think one second, but I do think that actually Dave actually just pointed it out in his review, and it made a lot of sense to me. And I guess I just didn't figure it out when he said I don't exactly know what his words were, but essentially the theme was you can't resist entering into the adult world, and that made a whole lot of sense to me. But it was something that wasn't apparent to me when I watched the film, and I found problematic. I don't know.
I think for me, I had a hard time connecting with the story of the city because there is a story about the city in this movie. I related most to the story of Oscar, and what he was going through and his reluctance to enter adulthood and the skirt thing. That's just it's so blatant, right? It's
Yeah.
like right there.
That's the heart. Yeah, all that. I mean, the what's going on in the city and in the country. I mean, that's just all background, right?
Well, it is and it isn't. Like I really do think this film probably has a whole other meaning for people who understand that era. I think there's other things going on there that I don't connect to because I don't understand that era very well. I don't understand that place and time in history. So I mostly just latched onto Oscar and sort of what he was going through.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the movie's not about like Nazism or fascism. It's more about an individual, like for him, his to me, it's like he decides to stop growing, and if he decides to stop growing, then he remains closer to the womb, and the more you grow, the more you travel away from the womb. So if he stays that height and he stays a child and he stays closer to the womb itself, and that's why, like, at the end when he puts his face in the snatch, literally, that's all symbolic of that,
for sure. I mean, and all the men, like, if you look at all the men in this movie, right? Like, all the men in this movie are to some extent or another sort of beholden to women. They're hiding under their skirts, and they're, you know what I mean? It's very, or they're like these idiot brown shirts, right? I really, there was something about the brown shirt uncle in this movie that just amused the hell out of me because he was just such a fucking tool.
Yeah.
And he looked ridiculous. And when you realize that, well, that's what they were dressing like, and that's what these brown shirts were wearing around, and you go, man, that's silly. Like, I would laugh at those idiots. And yet, those idiots that you would laugh at, went on to perpetrate horrible crimes, and in the movie went on to perpetrate horrible crimes. It's no wonder, Oscar rejects this world that he sees around him.
Right. Joe, I want to see this movie again.
Yeah, I honestly, I just feel
there.
like I feel like I just missed something. Like I get that, I understand Oscar's dilemma and what he's, his resistance and the fetishes that he engenders or whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like I think I just feel disconnected from it, probably for cultural reasons, like the cultural reason and not knowing the history there, and I guess essentially how Oscar's resisting growing up, that allegory, how it relates to the what's happening in the town and everything else. It just feels like I missed some connections, essentially. You know what I mean? So probably a second viewing would be in my cards as well.
Max, can we come over and watch this with you tomorrow?
Absolutely, it's here. Hey, you know what? When I was a kid, my mom would take me shopping to like a JCPenney or Sears. And she'd say, you go do your thing. I'm going to shop for dresses or whatever. I would go up to female mannequins and look under their skirts and get really aroused. And I would climb up and hide in them. And it felt so good to be like up near the mannequin's ass and the legs, those powerful, shapely plastic legs. And I would it was the most comforting experience hiding under skirts of mannequin women at the department store, and I don't think this has anything to do with culture. The culture is a gift. The fact that you get German culture circa World War II is a gift. I don't think you have to identify with it. I mean, cultures are universal. It's so great to visit Danzig at that time and go through that weird town and go through all those weird experiences with those people. I'm actually really surprised, Joe. I would really think you would have gravitated to this thing.
I liked it.
I think you're so much more offended by the child pornography bullshit.
No, you're misreading it, Max. Honestly, you're misreading it. I really wasn't offended by that. My only reading was what I said. I was just trying to figure out how they filmed it. I really wasn't offended by it at all. I honestly wasn't. I just
saga. It's got everything. It's got death and drama.
Yeah. No, I know, and I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like I miss it, and I can't accept that the backdrop of this film is meaningless or not not pertinent to the human drama. I mean, there's too much.
This film is
there's
meaningless?
well, what you're saying is that it doesn't mean
Nazi
anything.
Germany is meaningless?
Well, what you're saying is that it doesn't have anything to do with the story, and I think that it has.
That? I said it has everything to do with the
I
story.
I said that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't. I feel like I'm just missing connections. That's all. I guess it's just me.
No,
but I do like it. I did enjoy the film.
I think you watched this film, Joe, and you're worried about your babies, which I totally understand. But this film was made in 1977, and you were a kid, and your babies weren't born yet, and we didn't have all of these psychotic notions about how we have to protect our kids. Kids are very, what's the word? Soluble, strong. David Bennett was a very strong little lad when he made this film, I'm sure. He's fine. He didn't really taste pussy. And to be uptight or weird about this, it's preposterous.
That's not what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I wasn't really all that offended by I wasn't offended at all, actually. I'm I'm saying.
Me, when you weren't a little boy, you didn't want to taste pussy of 24-year-old girls who stood around you? Oh my God, I wanted to be up every snatch I came in contact with. It's 7.
Joe,
I wanted to bang Beaver high and low when I was 10.
boy, oh boy.
You're a fast developer, Max.
I'm a
Yeah,
what?
a fast developer.
You're ahead of the curve,
Let me
Max.
tell you something. When I was in grade school, all these boys were out on the blacktop, challenging each other and beating on the heads of snakes. You know what I was doing? I was combing girls' hair in the cafeteria. I was all about being around little girls. I loved it. When I was a little boy, I loved being around girls. I loved getting into them. I loved playing house and Barbie and doctor. I had a little flashlight. Are you kidding? You know how many little bald clits I looked at with flashlights?
God.
What kind of life did you guys live, man?
Max, you can't think any more or any less of anyone how they, what they were feeling when they were a child, especially, sexually. Come on.
Come
Max.
on, Max.
What's the matter with you?
What's wrong with
Max, you really had like such intense sexual thoughts and urges at that age? You actually remember it like clearly,
those
like
my
that
best
intense?
memories? My memories of childhood are shit. The only time they're good is when I think about sex and girls. That's the only time they're good.
But how did you even know about sex like at such a, I guess when you're 7 and you're whatever, the girl down the block or whatever.
I don't remember not having a raging libido. Maybe it's just anomalous. Maybe it's a chemical imbalance or something. But
Tom, when did you what's your experience? When did you, and Dave, when did you guys start feeling, sexual?
Well, I guess, I had my first girlfriend, was like in 3rd grade.
yeah,
But I don't know. I never thought of sex. I mean, although like when I was young, probably in 2nd grade was the first time I started hearing noises that came.
Wait.
What? Like noise? No. Like my mom fucking her boyfriend noises.
Oh yeah.
So when I was like, I remember my first experience was when I was in 2nd grade. And I kept hearing it like every night when I'd be put to bed. And I was curious. I didn't know what it was. I know it was my mom making these sounds. And I was curious. So I went out of my room one night and I kind of like went down the staircase and they were in the living room and my mom's boyfriend was on top of my mom and he was fucking banging my mother.
Oh my God, dude.
And it, like, right after that, I kind of knew, I guess, what was going on. But I always heard my mom was like a machine with that shit. Like, she was a very sexual person. So like I would hear it like, all the time. And it really got disturbing when I was like 13, 14, you know, and she'd come
Yeah.
home drunk, and I was like, and this is when I was maturing. So
Well, that's when you're starting to like.
that's when it started to get disturbing. When I started to become disturbed by it, like it still fucking weirds me out to this day. And I have problems with my mom because of that. Like
Yeah.
it's just I've never talked to her about it. I never said, Mom, look, this is this fucked me up. Like, maybe I should, but and I'm sure I know Max's mom is had a similar lifestyle. Max, did you not have these similar experiences that I had?
Oh my God, Tom! It's
Like
we
yeah.
are identical twins. We are
Yeah.
Chang and Eng with this. My mom would be fucking dudes, and
Yeah,
I'd
dude.
walk in on them. What are you doing? And she'd
Yeah.
look at me and she goes, "We're making love."
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy on top of you? What
Yeah.
the fuck, Mom? I'd bang on walls. What are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was bizarre. I mean, I'm still, I'm still fucked up over it. Man. It sucks. I hate thinking about it, but
Now,
so
Patty's not going to listen to this episode, is she?
she doesn't listen to any of this. No,
Yeah, of course not.
no, she doesn't listen to it. No, not at all. But boy, Joe, I mean, it fucks you up, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it does, man. You should you might if you're not going to talk to her about it, you should maybe talk to somebody about
I
it.
know it's been bottled up for so long. I think
So if you go and talk to somebody about it, they'll probably tell you to go and talk to her about it. I would guess. Or Dave, you're our psychologist on
Well, I'm a
staff.
psychologist now.
Jesus Christ, did I really just say this? in front of everybody?
Dave's a psychologist.
He's our Freud
So
expert.
I'm a fucking I'm a fucking train wreck. So all of a sudden I know everything about
I
psychology.
would do crystal.
A train wreck. I called you an expert. What are you talking?
No, I'm just
I
saying.
would do his job.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I got all these problems, and so I know all this shit about psychology now. Like, but it's true though. I would say psych majors. Everyone I ever know who took psychology in school is a fucking lunatic. So I think it makes a certain amount of sense. But yeah, that's probably what they tell you. To talk it out or whatever, which is probably not good advice. I don't know.
Hey Max, is there anything about Nicole that reminds you of your mom?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that
A lot
reminds
of-
me.
Yeah.
Not my mom's, looser side.
Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm getting at. Like,
Well, she'll say things like, "Oh, stop it, get over it. Oh, shut up," like stuff like that.
Right.
My wife's a very strong woman, as is my mother. I mean, my mother suffered tremendous loss and had to play both parental roles and suffered a lot of shit, and she's damaged goods as a result. I wish I talked to my mommy every day. I don't. I talk to her once a month. It
Right.
sucks. It sucks because she's got her own thing, and she's in a lot of pain, and she's got to work it out. She's into
No.
crafts and all this shit, and now my sister's getting married. So here's a new project for mom. She can put all of her energy into my sister's wedding until October. Well, you know what? It used to be that I would probably really resent that, but now I'm really happy for her. She has that, and she doesn't have to think about her pains that she never dealt with. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's hard. It's like I want to be close to her, but and the mom in Tin Drum. What are you kidding me? She fucking kills herself. We don't know how. It's a very ambiguous scene.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was weird. The fish thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
right.
but I saw a lot of stuff in that woman that I saw in my mom. Just like, oh my God, I can't take this craziness. And Oscar wasn't helping. The stunted growth and the drums and the forearm hair. I mean, this kid's driving everyone nuts.
We have to do a show, and we all have to bring to the table a movie that really defines what your life might have been like as a child. Like, like that would be an interesting show.
That would be good.
But Jesus, Joe, now I'm like, oh, yay.
You feel like you got beat up
Dude,
tonight,
it's a Detloff bashing tonight.
Oh, Detloff.
But there's just a lot there, Joe, and I never got it out.
I hear
I never,
Yeah.
I never talked about it, and I just bottled. I remember it took me so long to put everything, and now it doesn't even seem real. It's so weird with like all the crap that went on in my life, before adulthood. It's like it's so distant. It's like it doesn't even. It's like I'm making shit up. Like it's like not even real anymore. It's so bizarre. I don't know. That's how much I bottled it like inside me that I don't even think it's real.
Lead singing for your band was your bashing on a tin drum. Let's face it.
Yeah, that helped. That helped. I should write more. I used to feel a lot better when I was writing poems and just writing in general, and I really stopped doing that. That's something I should really pick up again, because that was very, very helpful. I mean, I just threw everything away. Like I threw all my notebooks away. I don't know what I was thinking. Maniac.
You just threw.
Jesus, Tom,
Yeah.
why would you throw that stuff away?
I don't, because I just wanted to move past it. I know it was stupid. I'm talking about like 15 notebooks of shit.
Oh, I did this exact same thing, Tom. I don't feel bad.
Because I thought mostly anyway that it was just all other people's thoughts anyway. I never thought I had any original thoughts. I just thought that I read shit and then
Yeah,
just,
but as being the host of the show, don't you feel like you've come into your own as a personality, as a guy with your own take on everything? I mean,
slowly.
Yeah, but I think you've been doing a stellar job at that.
Yeah,
You
just
host
hosting the
this
show. It's a whole. I mean, even that's an act.
Yeah, but Tom, you're totally revealing yourself right now. This is the forum where you're talking so comfortably about your deepest shit,
Yeah.
and you're feeling comfortable about it. You're not going to ask, well, I don't know who's going to edit this show, but you're not going to ask them to cut this out.
No,
You're gonna
not at
leave it
all.
in.
Of course.
And why? Why? Why are you leaving this in? This is
Because it's entertaining.
well, this is what our friend Joe could stand to learn, that he's entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to talk about movies. You know what? No one wants to hear you fucking talk about movies. They want to hear your personal perspective.
Well, sorry, we're talking about movies on the Cutting Room Movie podcast, man. You fucking maniac.
No, but okay, I gotta say something to Tom here. One writer to another.
Yeah.
You talk about, and I know exactly what you're talking about when you say this, where you feel like you just read something and then you sort of, everything you do is that style for a little while afterwards.
Right.
That's totally natural, man. It is so natural for a writer to do. That's how you find your voice. That's how you figure out who you are as a writer. Like I mean, seriously, there was periods where I couldn't write anything that didn't sound like Leonard Cohen, because I adore that man in like a totally insane way, and I think he wrote the two best novels of like the 20th century, and I couldn't get away from, and I probably still do. I tell you right now, a lot of what I write probably still sounds a lot like him. And fucking Hunter S. Thompson and fucking whatever else, but that's how you find it, and so never be afraid to do that, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the stuff that you're doing behind closed doors.
Gotcha.
Don't be afraid of that, man. It's perfectly fucking natural.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe start picking it up again.
You should, man.
I've been thinking about it anyway, and this show's really inspired me to do something like that. It's been honestly a very inspiring show for me for some reason. So I guess I have to thank my good friend Max Cook. Jesus, Max. God, I've been so emotional, man, lately, like beyond belief, and like I've been close to like tears almost every day over like the littlest things, and but it's. I'm just I don't want to say I'm going through a tough time. I'm just going through like an emotional time for some reason.
Man, this time of year, the end of the winter is maybe my roughest time too, as far as emotional well-being or mental
Man,
well-being.
it's crazy, Joe.
It's rough,
Yeah.
man. It's rough to get to that finish line, man. To push to that finish line.
Yeah,
Oof. Yeah, it's not easy, Tom. The spring's around the corner, brother.
I know, but I'm lucky, in so many other aspects. I mean, even just having you guys is like really a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I just try to keep everything in perspective. So I love all you guys.
I love you too, Tom.
I love you too, Tom.
You know?
I love you too, Tom.
Thai food's on the way. Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do quickly. I want to do avoid rent or buy. We don't have to go into a big spiel because I do want to talk to Joe Christiana about something before we get off air. So let's start with you, Max.
Am I in trouble, Tom?
No, I got a question. On air question.
Okay.
Go, Max.
Well, listen, if you love bold, brilliant filmmaking, I would say this is a great companion piece to Salo. I say own it. I say get the Criterion 2004 version, which has a great documentary called Banned in Oklahoma. The new version doesn't have that, unfortunately. I say own it. I think it's extraordinary. And don't show this one to your kids, though, because evidently it'll cause a lot of problems.
Pace.
I'm going to agree with Max, and I'm going to say own it. I think it's an important piece of filmmaking. It's a very bold piece of filmmaking, and not just for for the obvious reasons, but I think just for the really bold cinematic choices that were made in this film. It looks absolutely beautiful, and it experiments with so many different techniques throughout the film. It's really great to watch. So I would say buy it. If you're serious about films anyway, buy it. If you're not, fuck you. You probably not. Anyway.
Joe.
I'm gonna say rent this, but I will say buy the book. I started reading the book, and it's pretty fascinating. Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh, cool, Joe.
I really need to try to figure this film out. Or there's something. There's something into the story that I'm not grasping, and I just need to try to figure it out. So, but I downloaded the book on a PDF, and
That's great, Joe.
It's a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna go and actually buy the book. So
yeah,
it's actually pretty fantastic book, and that dude, the kid's voice is really it's just narrated by that kid. And he's some friggin' piece of work, man. He's a really strong character. So I'm looking forward to finishing this book. So.
Yeah, Joe, hey, listen, I think, in my opinion, anything that I want to, have a second viewing with, I'm going to buy it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, go ahead and buy this one. I mean, it's a unique piece of filmmaking, and it's worth having in your collection. Guys, Bodily Functions, Salo, The Tin Drum. We did Sinister earlier. It's been an amazing ride. We had Sherry Strahl. She was fantastic. Very emotional show once again tonight, guys. I want to thank everyone for doing their part. You're all equally fantastic this evening. Before we say goodbye, it is time for that all-important question, the one that I look forward to most here on the Cutting Room Movie Podcast.